Welcome to the Exotics Podcast, where we interview guests to give our community TECC value and anybody who comes across our YouTube channel. Today, we got a special guest. We got a serial entrepreneur, CEO of one of the biggest, most exclusive private training facilities in the world, self-made, as well as self-made real estate. This man is one of the most successful entrepreneurs to come out of my hometown, Inland Empire. So it's a pleasure.
Damn.
We got Miguel Aguilar in the building.
Damn.
Can we get the
Oh, money.
Damn, that was a really good intro, bro.
Hey, that was pretty good.
I never got an intro like that.
Sorry, bro.
Let me just say.
He drove 2 hours, you know.
Dude, drop the mic on that one, bro.
2
All
hours.
done.
Thank you.
2 hour drive, but yeah, thank you for coming out, bro.
No,
Thank
I
you,
wouldn't
man.
miss it, man. I appreciate you guys, one, for the invitation and the ability to, one, share as much as I possibly can.
Hell
Obviously,
yeah,
this is a great opportunity for us to collaborate and see and see how we can continually expand the world in a positive way.
Hell yeah.
100%.
All that.
That's what we're about. I mean, we've been talking about this since day one. We really want to, behind everything we do, we always like to give back, obviously. So,
Purpose.
I mean, there's always a purpose behind everything we do. So, really appreciate you coming out.
Thank
I know
you,
it was
dude.
a long-ass drive.
Yeah, man. I just moved to LA, so I'm up in West Hollywood. And I'm still trying to get used to that
Commute?
traffic, the
I know,
commute.
man.
And,
Bro,
you know, it's hit or miss. This
I can
could've
never
been,
do LA. I told this guy, I'm like, you guys ever want me to come out there? It ain't happening.
Oh man, but you know what? I love it, and I wouldn't say I dislike it. It's such a diverse
Yes.
city,
Yes.
and it's so intriguing in so many ways, and it opens your eyes in so many different ways that you can look at it so many different layers.
Absolutely.
For an individual like myself, LA can either swallow you up
Oh, for
or
sure.
motivate the shit out of you.
Yep.
You know, and for me, it's motivating because I'm
Absolutely.
a small fish in that big ass pond.
Nah, you ain't small no
Yeah,
more,
no, bro. You know,
Let's not be so humble.
I try to
good, though.
understand that, I feel like I'm just barely scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Until this day, it still hasn't hit me where we are as a company, where I am individually as a person. And we've known each other for how long now?
2017.
Damn.
We got Costa
Damn.
Mesa.
Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
Where was I?
You were at a
You
club.
were teaching.
Yeah, club.
He was actually
I was
teaching at the
teaching.
club that I owned.
No
That's
way.
how we met.
That's how we met.
Yeah, that's how we
What
met.
a
I used
trip.
to force this guy to take shots after he teach the classes.
I wouldn't be able to
Or
drive
bachata.
home. I'm like, I got to take an Uber again.
Oh, dude.
Again.
Yeah. So actually, let's go in a little bit about your backstory. So, obviously I have the pleasure to know you for many years, but for those who don't know you, let's go into a little bit of your backstory because I think that's very, very, very motivating.
Well,
sure.
I come from absolutely nothing. I mean, from the day I can remember of an early childhood, I was abused by both my parents, physically beat, tortured. I mean, I remember one time my mother, for her to discipline us, she would get a sheet of newspaper, one single sheet,
Oh man.
and put white rice on top of it, a very thin layer, not like a mount of white rice, raw, not cooked. And she would make me kneel on that rice.
hell
And if my butt touched my heels, I mean, hijo de tu gran puta, boom, just fucked me up, and kneel up. I remember one time I got up, I had rice inside my knee skin. To the point where she even faked my own death when I was about 9 years old to get money from my family to fake my funeral and the whole nine. She made me sleep in the closet. She promised me I used to be
God
a
damn,
fish.
This like blows my mind, bro. This is real shit.
Yeah, no, real shit, dude. That's a PG version too. I try to go into the key points so people can visually see and understand
Dude,
and hear.
I'm seeing it as you're saying
as
it.
a 9-year-old kid coming, at that time, we always bounced back from San Diego County, Riverside County, because my mom was always running away from somebody because she defrauded somebody, she took advantage of somebody, and then she would also take advantage of my father at that time. And I remember one time we were in Imperial Beach. We lived about 8 blocks away from the beach, and I used to love boogie boarding. And as a young kid, my dad owned a bunch of franchises. He owned a bunch of Yum Yum Donuts. And so I was a overweight kid, like fatter than fat. Like
I went through that fat phase.
oh,
I'm not
bro.
gonna lie.
Me too.
I was a little fat boy.
Dude, I had man tits,
I still have some left.
this fucking guy. Like
Baby fat, bro. Baby fat.
It's like
baby
to the
fat.
point where I would go swimming with a shirt on, because I thought it would cover my body up. But I was a very insecure kid, very overweight, but I loved it being in the water. So I used to go to the beach, and we used to body surf or boogie board. And I remember I ended up finding an old beat-up boogie board that I would use, and I would swim and boogie board for hours. And when I got out, since I was really heavy, I would build a rash on my chest, around my nipples especially, and it would hurt because of salt water, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
you can go boogie boarding. So I always begged my mom, like, I need a rash guard and a new boogie board. I want the slick bottoms, Mom, and she was like, no, just kept telling me no, until one time I come home, she was like, Miguelito, she used to call me Miguelito or Michael, and she was like, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to sleep in the closet today. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, you need to sleep in the closet, and whatever you do not come out. You're going to hear some things. You might hear the doorbell ring, but do me a favor. Don't even peek. Don't even come out. And I was like, no. And I started like freaking out because she was like, I'll put a sleeping bag in there. You'll be fine. All that good stuff. 9 years old. Why wouldn't the fuck am I going to sleep in the closet? I didn't know what the hell was going on. And she finally said, I'll get you a boogie board and a rash guard. And I was like, oh, fuck. Where's the sleeping bag? Let's go.
Where's my closet at?
Where's my closet? So I fell asleep, and then I was awakened by the doorbell ring. And it was multiple. And then finally, I started hearing people cry. And it was a small house. It wasn't a big house where I could be completely separate from everybody. Yeah. And I remember finally, I was like, I got scared because I heard crying. So I opened the closet, and I go to the door, and I put my ear first, and I couldn't hear exactly what was going on. So finally, I just cracked it. And I opened it, and I can see through the doorway where the kitchen was at. And even my brother was involved in the lie. She was all my aunts and uncles that I remember being there, cousins, family. And she's crying hysterically. She was like, Miguelito.
Wait, your mom was crying?
Yeah, she was saying that.
Wow.
You were gone.
I was gone. She was like, no sé
like
por
how?
qué. Yeah, I don't know why. And I was like, and then she told the story that I got hit by a car. And she did not know how she was going to put me in the ground. Yeah. And she needed a stone. She wanted to have a beautiful stone. All this stuff, like elaborate, like literally to the
she really
T
thought about it.
of what she needed. So then everybody, obviously, I'm assuming, contributed towards my funeral. And then I wake up the next day, still didn't get my boogie board, didn't get a rash guard, so she fucked me on that one. But then, months passed, and then my father found out what happened. So he came home one day and was like, my an uncle's looking for me or looking for my father to see what was going on. And he comes out, beats the living shit out of my mom. And then, of course, now my aunts and uncles is looking for their money back. So now they're terrorizing our home. So we had to pack up, left, and we moved to Riverside. And we did that multiple times. So all throughout my elementary, middle school, I lived from place to place to place. I never stayed like secure with anybody. And by the time I was 12, my mom decided that, it was it. She was done with us. But we didn't know this. And the year prior to that, my father disappeared. So he got fed up with the bullshit. He was like, hey, F you guys. He literally left his store. He went to work one day and never came back. And for the longest time, we thought, because we lived in San Ysidro at the time, too. That's right next to the border. So you would always hear the cartel stories and things of that nature. So we thought he got kidnapped and taken.
Yeah.
He was somewhat mid-successful for who he was. But he disappeared for a whole year. And then for me as a young man, developing, losing that father figure, it was like, fuck. So then I got into gangs. I got into this. But it really hit as soon as my mom found out where my father left to. He actually moved to Riverside, back to Riverside, actually Corona, and reconnected with an old fling. And he actually got her pregnant. So they had a 1-year-old daughter already. So that's one of the main reasons he left. And we found out he was at the Norco Yum Yum Donuts off of Hamner. So if you know Riverside County, it's right next to the Stater Brothers. She found out he was there working. And so she told us one day, hey, pack your stuff. We're going to go to, I found your dad. And we're like, oh, shit, he's alive. So we go to Norco from San Diego all the way to Norco, which is about an 1.5-hour drive. Yeah. And we show up and shit you not, my dad's back there fucking baking away, not knowing what's about to happen. He's
about to get the job.
Oh, bro, he got fucked up. My mom was crazy. So she was crazy. So we reconnected with them. They were arguing and stuff. We finally go in and go say hi to our father and say, oh, we missed him and all that. And then my mom said, hey, get back in the car and we'll figure what's going to happen next. we get home, and maybe a day or two later, she tells us that, hey, do you guys want to go stay with your dad for a couple weeks? And we're like, fuck yeah, we haven't seen him all year. And so they figured something out. I don't know the details to this day of that conversation, but we ended up meeting my dad at the park in Corona. And
What park was it?
this is the one right off of Main Street. It's the major park there where they have the actual parades
Jay
there
was
every
there.
year.
I grew up in Corona.
Yeah,
You know. So right next door there used to be an ice cream shaving place, and then now it's like a fully developed. It's right under the bridge where all the homeless people hang out now.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's like where. That's like.
Bro,
Yeah, that's like.
It's the hood.
That's the
you know?
hood. Yep.
So we ended up getting dropped off there. My mom tells us, "Hey, mijo, go play." And then they started talking on the bench, and you can see them going at it. And we're trying not to pay too much attention. We're playing in the playground. And then she finally calls us over, and she was like, all right, mijo, look it. You're going to stay with your dad. Make sure you behave. Listen to what he has to say, and I'll come back and get you guys in a couple weeks. Just make sure you behave. And she gave us a hug, told us she loved us. And for us, we're like, oh, cool. We're going to go hang out with Pops for a little bit. We're solid. Well, we go back. We go to a 2-bedroom apartment off of Magnolia, right next to Shamawa Middle School and Ramona High School, right off of Magnolia. That's where he was staying at.
I know that's that.
And he ended up taking us with him. He was already with another woman, which hated our guts. He already had a daughter, and then this woman already had 2 other daughters by other people. Gosh. So we show up, and there's literally, dude, so now you have 3 kids plus 2, so 5 kids plus 2 adults, 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. And so we actually took a picture that day we got dropped off, and I have it till this day. And I'll talk about this a little bit later. But I've literally collected all this stuff since I was a kid. I don't know why, but now I look back, it was like crazy. To reference what was happening. I'll pull it up because I have a photo album on my phone that says oldies but goodies. So anytime I talk about a story, we can reference back.
He's like,
it's validated, right motherfucker.
This is me right here.
Hey, that's gonna be an NFT collection.
Yeah, bro.
For real.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where it's like sometimes you hear my story and
it's pretty crazy.
It's
I'm
like,
not gonna lie.
It's like you can't really. That can't be true.
I can't even imagine that shit.
It's a movie. Yeah, no, and legit. It's like legit fucked up, dude. I mean, and you notice that I smile a lot when I talk about the story, and the reason for it is I was in a very dark place for a very, very long time where that smile never came out. You know, I went through substance abuse, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and we'll get that into a little bit later. But we got dropped off in this house. This lady is very resentful. She hates us, doesn't want us there, but she didn't know we were only going to be there for 2 weeks, you know? And, I mean, she knew that we were only going to be there for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks passed.
She didn't know it was permanent.
My mom disappeared. Like, literally a month passed. We're like, oh, she's going to call us. We would wait by the phone, me and my brother. It was me and my brother, by the way.
Older or younger?
Younger, by only 11 months. Yeah, my brother's 39, and I'm 40. So he's July, I'm in August. But 2 months passed, 3 months passed, 6 months passed. And then finally, after a year, we're like, fuck, she's dead. I could have swore, I was like, you know, you're in your head, you're thinking, I was like, she either burned somebody and someone killed her.
Yeah.
Something happened, because for her to disappear like that just didn't make sense. And it was kind of a blessing looking back, because my mom was already fucked up. We were about to get we would die ourselves or something bad would really happen if we were still under her supervision, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, years passed. At that point, I got heavily involved with drugs. I got heavily involved with gangbanging, because that's all I knew. Especially from Riverside. That was my hood. I was born and raised there, bouncing back from San Diego, not. But all my influences was only people that were either involved with gangs, selling drugs, or doing drugs, right? So that's all I knew. Went to Shamawa Middle School. Ended up getting kicked out of there for fighting, because I ended up beating some dude up in the locker rooms. And then so my parents got pissed about that. My dad did, and then my stepmom. So we had to move school districts to Loma Vista on the other side of Riverside to be able to not get to continuation school. They didn't want me to do that. Fast forward to 16 years old. My father committed a crime that landed him in prison for 22 years. So we didn't know that was 22 years. I come home. Police is there. I mean, it was a fucking night. It was like one of those things where looking back, and even to this day, I remember it so vividly that I can taste, I can smell, I can feel like I'm still there when I speak on it. And we show up. He's not there. The cops are looking for him. So me and my brother, at that point, I've already bought. I had a 1972 Camaro that I bought for $850. $850 that
You
I
still
bought.
have that? Because that's a
Dude,
dope car.
dude, I wish I would have kept
You
that
should have
car.
kept that car in the garage.
Yo,
somewhere.
if you were
bro.
listening right now and you have his car,
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
You'll
I'll
buy
buy
it.
it.
You'll buy
I
it.
swear, and I'll modify the shit out of it. Look, I ended up buying that. So I used to throw. I was a hustler since I was a kid. I mean, from trading baseball cards. Remember Tops and Upper Deck? You know, the
I
Upper
got
Deck
into
had the
that for a
hologram.
little
You
bit.
know, so I was swinging, and then from Pongs, even Pongs, dude, fucking stupid little plastic shit that you're trading up and down, making money off of that as a kid. And then I got into high school, and then I was selling dope, you know, and things of that nature. So I've always done a hustle, which I'm not proud of. So don't
Yeah.
ever think by me saying that that condones you guys doing anything stupid like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's one of the things where I was
But
on
it's made
survival.
you.
I was
It would-
survival, dude.
But it was the norm.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I remember.
That's what
I
you-
remember
that's all
being
you
in high
know.
school, and it's like, I remember one time we were in class, and this kid dropped like a full bag of like weed,
oh,
and it was like,
And Jay like dove on it.
no.
I was
Well,
like,
that time I wasn't smoking. That time I was like hell against it because it was like the people that
Yeah.
were, you know, in it. But I remember just us like talking to the teacher and trying to get her away because the smell was so bad. Now looking back, I'm like, there's no way she didn't know that there was fucking a whole. It was
Oh,
just,
bro.
you know. But it was normal. It's normal.
it's just completely normal. And even then, I was real creative because back in the day, we used to get skunk weed from Mexico.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it was all dry and crispy. And
It
so,
was like-
dude, it was like fuck. So we
You didn't
all
even need one of those crashes.
No,
You just-
bro, it was the worst shit that you can possibly buy back
worst
in the
smell.
day. And the thing was, though, I got super creative even then, to the point where
He was cutting grass and putting that shit in the
no,
weed.
bro, even better, bro. You're gonna love this one. So the thing was, like, everybody in the block had the same weed because we got from the same distributor, right? And everybody had to sell it to the same people. So I got real creative one day. I'm a sugar fanatic. Like, I love sweets, and I would always have
Bro.
chocolate. I would have something on me, right? Or and then
Any
say,
drawer you go look in, there's candy and chocolate.
right? Oh, bro, you should see my car right now. I had a full trail mix. I had to stop at
Oh,
Target because I was
shit.
craving shit. So I ended up having a bag of Hershey Kisses with me, and I remember when I opened it, that smell, I was like, oh fuck. So then what I did is I would get all my dime bags, right, and I would put a bunch of Hershey Kisses in it, let it sit overnight, maybe a couple days, and then take it out. So when you open it, they're like, oh shit, what is it? I was
What
like,
is this
that's
new
that
shit?"
chocolate weed, homie. I was like,
Yo,
it's
that's actually
bomb,
that is creative.
right?
Yeah.
And so I would sell it for an extra $5.
There
And
it
that's how I
is.
was making my product
it
even
is.
better. And then I even got to the point where I was like, oh shit, because then you deal with the consumer. It's like, oh, this shit's fucking dry skunk shit,
Yeah.
right? So then I was like, fuck. And I remember peeling an orange one day, and I was like, you see the moisture come out of the
Yeah.
orange. I was like,
Throw an orange peel in there. Damn, boy.
but you had to be. I remember I fucked up the first time because I let it sit there too long. Then it
Yeah.
molded the weed, right? So then I was like, put it in there, let it sit for a few hours, and then when you go open, you're like, it smelled like. Remember Orange Julius? Like the Orange Julius place at the mall. They used to they're like smoothie oranges, like real good flavor and smell.
Yeah.
That's what it smelled like. So I was like, it's like the Orange Julius shit, bro. And so I would sell it for more. So look, so I've always been a hustler, right? So by the time I was 16, my dad got incarcerated. We found out they were giving him 22 years to serve. And at that point, when they served him and they gave him the date, my stepmom kicked us out, me and my younger brother, and pretty much told us, hey, you got to go fucking fend for yourself.
And you were 16.
16 years old,
Damn.
bro. Just going into my junior year in high school. No, it's junior year going into 17, going to be 17, and then
That's
my
fucking
senior year.
nuts. I can't imagine that life. I'm sorry. I'm thankful every fucking day because literally my foundation was nothing but love and real like support, and my brothers, my sisters, my mom and dad since day one have been like our support. Like I can't, like when people tell me about stories like this, it just like blows my mind because I can't understand like how the fuck can you do this to kids? Like what kind of human does this kind of shit? And I've never been around, so I couldn't even like when you say this stuff, like it blows my mind that like I get like speechless, bro.
And it's one of those
It's
things,
crazy.
bro, where it's like, it was a blessing. You know, I can look back.
Well, it made you.
Yeah, it made me. It made me who I am. But also now, fast forward, I'm a father of two beautiful daughters, Jaden and Riley, teenagers, by the way. They're my age. One's going to turn 14 in June. The other one's turning 15. And they're a year really from where I was like literally abandoned and homeless. I was abandoned by my mom at 12, homeless by the time I was 16. I lived out of my car for about 8 months, dude. And
It's crazy.
Thank God I was into wrestling and in sports. And that's why I'm in the health and fitness space now, because I see the value of how I can save somebody's life. And I'm really
for sure.
big on having that understanding that any outlet, whether it's cars, whether it's working out, whatever it may be, as long as it's positive and it keeps you on a positive mindset, you can overcome anything.
Yep.
And trust me, going from literally jumping from I would sleep in people's garages. I was sleeping in people's floors. I was sleeping in alleyways. I would go
where
to.
was your brother at?
So he was with me for a lot of the time.
Okay, so you guys were riding together.
Yeah,
and
we're
that's-
riding together.
And I'm sure you're taking care of him because. Of
Oh, bro! But at the same token, we were at one point doing that for so long.
Speaking of tokens, remember that?
Yeah,
We're
tokens.
gonna
You gotta
about-
talk about tokens. We gotta
Tokens
make sure you
coming
get
up.
that. And I can't wait to learn more about that, honestly.
yeah.
But it's one of those things is like 8 months into it, my assistant wrestling coach, Chris Gillespie, who is actually buying one of my franchises, self-made training facilities out of San Diego, which is a huge blessing. It's almost like
full circle.
It's fucking wild, bro.
It's
you know,
crazy.
it's wild. And same like you guys, how you guys met, now full circle, what you
yeah.
guys are doing, right? But Chris Gillespie asked his dad if I can stay with them, if I can sleep on their floor, you know, and I did. I slept in his floor. He asked his dad. His dad was more than gracious to allow me to sleep in his floor. And this is a man that if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for my wrestling team, I probably wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for my wrestling coach, I probably wouldn't be here. Like so many of us, that's why I use the word self-made family, because I am self-made. I took my actions to be able to apply myself to be where I'm at today. But it took a family of people.
Yeah.
It's almost like an oxymoron. You know, there is no such thing as one self-made man, which people look at. I was like, what? I am self-made. No, who helped you navigate to get to that position, right?
Absolutely.
So
And
I've
a lot
always
of those
used
failures with other people.
Oh,
is
bro.
what makes you grow, and then you become self-made.
100%,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
All failure to me is not
It's a
the ability-
blessing,
It's a
bro.
blessing. It's a
Honestly, I
lesson
swear.
learned.
I
You know?
tell these guys all the time, I've been fucks left and right, partners, whatever. I don't even think about it. I used to be very bitter.
Yeah.
I used to think about it, and I was like, fuck, you know, these guys like put me through hell, did all this shit. I'm still to this day paying for some of them.
Yeah.
But, and then I kind of like was listening to some YouTube stuff, and then I just kind of started kind of changing my perspective of all this shit that happened to me in the past. And I look at all the good shit that came out of the bad that happened, and I was like, fuck. And ever since then, I never looked back and was like, oh man, fuck these people. I was like, I wish them well. I'm happy where I'm at now, and I know not to look at shit like so negatively anymore. It's just like there's always something good that comes out of it.
100%. And now they're not going to bother you. Right? That's the other blessing to that. If
true.
somebody owes you money, they're never going to bother you again. So you did yourself a favor there. Or if somebody burns you, you know, you look, anything that happens, it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And it sucks because, look, we can look at this and hear us speak right now, right? And as we're saying this, the audience may think that it's like, you're just saying that. Or like, yeah, right, you don't know what I'm going through. It's like at the end of the day, we all go through shit, dude. And we all go through shit. Different, some more than others. Some have worse stories than I do. And guess what? We've made it. So obviously, there's proof in what we're saying. Absolutely. And the ability to have a mindset to overcome anything is a gift that no one can take away from you, period. So, you know, living out of my car, you know, until this day, I feel horrible that, you know, me and my brother had to separate. I ended up having to go to, or having the ability and the blessing to go to a home that was a Christian family that took me in. And even though I was a troublemaker, they still took me in. To then my brother going with a set of friends that the parents smoked weed, and nothing against smoking nowadays. Obviously, it's approved, but back then it's totally different. And drugs and you know, acid and everything else. So of course, you know, you have two different mentors. You know, so he ended up going one route, and you know, unfortunately, my brother got addicted to drugs and alcohol pretty heavily. But now he's amazing. He works for me at Self-Made, corporate. So that's a blessing.
Are you hiring?
Oh yeah, we're bringing.
I'm about to get on board.
Yeah, bro. It's one of those things where, you know, we now full circle forward. We're all doing really well.
That's dope.
But you know, even then, right after high school, I barely graduated high school. The only reason I graduated was because of wrestling. I'm a state qualifier. I ended up doing CIF championships. I've done really well in wrestling, and it's what allows me to be successful today. I take those same principles and I apply them to business, and this is why I'm where I'm at today. I have the no quit attitude. I have the ability to overcome anything because for every move, there's a counter move, right? And for every problem, there's a solution. I've always stated that, and I've stayed true to that. And at the end of the day, what I love about that sport so much, and same with jiu-jitsu, like I compete now in jiu-jitsu. I'm actually ranked third in the world and second in the world in my class.
Hey, so for all y'all out there, do not fuck with this man.
Hey, I would have got first in the open, but I got DQ'd, man. I ended up picking up a 360-pound dude, and he let go of the lapel, and it looked like I slammed him. So he threw a big old fit. You know, but anyways, dude, that's another story. So, you know, it taught me the ability to not give up no matter what the outcome is. And ultimately, I can't blame anybody, not my coach. That's why I love that sport. Like, if you win on the mat, great. That's one win, but you're only as good as your last win.
Yep, 100%.
You got to keep going forward. You got to keep practicing even harder. You got to keep doing best. And if you lose, you take full responsibility.
I think accountability is something that we're missing in the world. You know, I feel like more people need to take accountability because I feel like that's so much power.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you take accountability and you go, hey, I am where I am because of me. Mm-hmm. Therefore, I could get anywhere I want to be if I apply myself, if I take accountability. Because where you're at in life right now is because of your choices.
Yeah, 100%.
So where you're going to be in 3 years is because of your choices. Yeah. You know, so no, absolutely.
Where we're going to be at.
And even to touch on that real quick, dude, it's like, you know, people so easy to quit, right? Because of one failure. So easy. They failed once. I'm going to tell you guys a story real quick about my real estate career. And real estate career is what taught me everything I know about business, okay? I barely graduated high school. I got into commercial plumbing right out of high school. I fucking hated it. Construction, it just wasn't my thing, but it paid the bills, right? In 2003, I decided to get into real estate because a mentor of mine just said to me when I was bitching and moaning about my job at the dinner table, he pretty much told me, you know, what the fuck you going to do about it? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm good with my hands.
It is.
And he was like, you need to sell real estate. The one gift that I would say I have is I observe and I mimic the great to be great, is what I tell people. I never copy anybody. But this gentleman, he had a beautiful house. As he's here, let me backtrack. As he's telling me I need to do real estate, I was like, well, what is that? I have no fucking idea what that is. And, you know, I barely graduated high school. I had no idea what. Building the house? You know, I was like, no, selling real estate. And, you know, I was like, well, what is it? And as he's explaining things to me, right, I'm looking at his life. And I was like, beautiful house, 2 brand new Mercedes. His family loves him. He seems to be like he's got his shit together. Woke up at 5 o'clock every morning to go work out. I mean, the guy was legit. Yeah. And I respected that, right? Yeah. So as he's explaining this to me, I'm observing this, and I'm saying, okay, what do I got to do? Yeah. And I use the term procrastination is death, and I trademarked it, by the way. Oh, yeah. So, trademarked it, and that because I truly believe in that. Procrastination is death. True. You procrastinate on something, you might as well give yourself the shovel and dig your grave. Yeah. Because you're missing an opportunity to do something great. You just don't know it. We had to
move on this shit so fast.
Oh, 100.
We had no time to waste, bro.
The more I hear about your guys' stuff, man. I can't wait to really dig into that even further, even after this podcast and this discussion.
For sure.
Absolutely. But one of the things, as he's explaining this, I signed up for my real estate test. But, again, I barely graduated high school. I'm dyslexic. I have a lot of things against me that will prevent me from succeeding to the naked eye or to the audience, right? It's crazy. Look, I'm a smart guy. I'm a street smart guy. I'm a hustler. I've always been that way. But when it came to books and things that just didn't grab my attention because of my ADHD, it just
I feel you, bro.
Me,
I'm dyslexic as well. So
between ADHD, OCD, and dyslexic, I'm a fucking.
I feel you.
I'm a head case, homie.
I have all those fucking things.
So we've been on that.
Yeah. So it's I go to take my test. You know, I take all the prerequisites. I take my test, and I failed the first time. Okay. I failed, and I looked at this whole situation. I was like, all right, I failed. No big deal. I'll do it again. Okay. I actually failed my real estate test 11 times.
Oh, shit.
There it is.
But the reason I failed it, accountability. I didn't have accountability. I was partying. I was doing drugs every weekend. I would have to take the test on a Monday or Tuesday. And, of course, I'm fucking crudo and who knows what else, right? Yeah. And I'm like, all right, failed it. After the 11th time, right, I just got done failing it. And every time I failed it, it was $100 to re-register.
Yep.
Back then, 2003, right? That's a lot of fucking money, especially when I'm only making $1,600 a month, $1,200, $1,500, $1,600, $2,000 a month. And I was working 40 hours, okay, and doing this on the side. I come home from work. I had a shitty workout week, right? Like literally the most dreadful. I was digging. I remember my foreman gave me a shovel, told me you need to dig this trench. At this point, I was already on the process of becoming a foreman. I was an apprentice or a labor apprentice, journeyman, to then becoming a foreman, right? I'm paid now $16 an hour, which back then that was a lot of money. We had laborers that were paying $8 to do those digs of trenches, but this foreman had it out for me, right? Yeah. He controlled me at that point, and I hated that fucking feeling. He gave me a shovel, said, "No, I need you to dig it." I was like, "But we got, nope, you." And I was like, that whole fucking week, and I remember it was in Indio, 111, 112 degree weather.
Hell no. I would have been like, digging. Get the fuck out of here.
But dude, imagine you got rent, you got utilities, you got groceries.
That's the working class.
100%. Right. So I had to do it, right? Yeah. It was survival. Yeah. I had to. I remember come home from that week, and I look at myself in the mirror after I just opened the letter. This is before emails and before me knowing everything else of getting, calling it in. I get the letter that I failed again, and I was like, fuck, dude. I got in the shower. I got out of the shower, wiped the mirror down, and I had this thing. And it's like I looked at myself in the fucking mirror, and I was like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Same thing what my mentor told me, months back. What the fuck are you going to do about it? And then I say, cool. I got on my phone. I called all the homies because, look, I had no family. So my family was my friends. And I was the only kid in high school that had his own apartment. So you can only imagine the shit that we were doing, right? So parties at the house every weekend, dude.
Every day.
And I got pictures of that, too. And I got pictures of the refrigerator filled with beer, So I have all that stuff on my phone. But I remember I called everybody. I said, do not bug me for the next 30 days. Do not call me. Do not invite me. If you truly respect me and love me, bro, don't. And I was like, because I'm weak. And I know, I love to party. Yeah. That was like my escape. I was like,
that's me.
Dude, I was masking all this internal pain with drugs and alcohol, right? And I had to be, back then, like now, I love being by myself. Like, I love my alone
Some
time.
Peace.
Yes. Back then, I have to have 5, 10 people with me. Hey, come over, play video games, or hey, come do this.
Your mind is like fucking torture.
Imagine sitting by yourself and have to actually reflect on how fucked up your life is.
Yeah.
That's pretty shitty. But what's the best way to get rid of that? Drink it away, or snort it away, or whatever that may be, right? So I remember I told everybody, and for the first time since I was 12, because I tried my first hardcore drug when I was 12 years old. Okay. Damn. Yeah, dude.
I didn't even know what the fuck drugs were when I was 12.
Oh, bro, I was slaying it. So I was like, shit. Dude, so this is a part of the gang life, You get introduced to weird shit.
Yeah.
And so I remember for the first time since I was 12, I stayed home. I didn't party. I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. And I studied. I applied myself. I committed to myself. I was accountable to my decision to pass this fucking test. And I go take the test, and what happens?
Passed it.
Flying colors.
Damn.
And I was like, but let's reflect back. Imagine if I would have quit, I wouldn't have the life I have today.
Yeah.
Because real estate gave me that, basically opened up my eyes of how beautiful the world could be outside of the ghetto.
Yeah.
Right? First year in real estate, I was making the year prior, max I would make probably $19,000, $21,000 a month. Right? Max. That's year. Working double. Yeah, a year. Okay. I'm sorry, 25,000.
I was like, 20 grand a month is
no,
good.
No, sorry.
Good month, bro.
I was calculating in my head, bro. Dyslexic, so I'm like, times 7 times.
I can see Jay counting it in.
So it's one of those things. I was making about $20,000 to $25,000 a year at 23 years old, 22 years old, right? My first year in real estate, I did $132,000.
Damn, boy. Coming up.
Slinging. I took the same philosophy of slinging dope into slinging houses. It's a different product. Hustle, It's still a fucking hustle. And for me, where I got all my deals was at the corporate gym at LA Fitness. I used to train at LA Fitness, and everybody would always come up to me and ask me about health and fitness because I was at that point, I lost all the body fat. I was pretty lean. I was always athletic because of wrestling, because once I got into wrestling, I was shredded year round, right? So of course you had these older gentlemen or mid-aged individuals always asking, how do you stay so lean? How do you push this way? When I'm doing 3 plates on the bench press there, I'm catching people's attention.
Yeah.
And then I'd make friends because I'm a social butterfly and I love people. I just love people in general.
Yeah.
Because I've not had those in my life. So that was like my thing, right?
I feel that.
And so they would always ask me about health and fitness. And I figured this is my safe space. Because in the office setting, fuck no, I was freaking out. I didn't know how to tie a tie, never owned a suit. I remember I went to Ross and bought me some slacks and a button up for my first day at Century 21 is where I started. Century 21, yeah.
Oh, shit.
So, but that felt so fucking uncomfortable, right? And I had a bunch of dinosaurs around me because they're all older. I was the youngest kid, and I was like a punk looking kid, right?
Yeah.
So I remember the gym was my space. And so what I did is whenever they would ask me, I remember I read the book Purple Cow and Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh, yeah.
You know, one of the best books ever. Those 2 books and Think and Grow Rich within that time frame gave me a completely different mindset, different way of approaching marketing, different way of approaching a conversation and creating relationships. So in these relationships I'm building through health and fitness, they would ask me like, oh, so how do you stay so lean? I was like, look, I prep all my food. I'm able to know exactly what I'm consuming, and my job allows me the time to prep my food. What do? I sell real estate.
Smart.
And they're like, oh, you do? I was like, oh, yeah. So, and I would leave it at that. Instead of being that pushy salesman of like, oh, here's my card. You need to buy a house. I'll buy your house. You know, no.
So
I would just.
Because I used to do that with personal training all the time.
Right?
Yeah. You just sneak it in.
You just sneak it in.
Sneak
And
conversation.
just let it simmer. Like I was calling it farming. You know, I plant seeds.
Yeah.
Plant seeds. Something will cultivate to beautiful crops.
Yep.
And those became my clients. And then eventually the question was like, hey, how's the real estate market? Oh, it's a great market right now. This is 2003 to 2007. The market was very aggressive, and killed it. By the time I was 27 years
It was
old.
a lot of money, man. I remember how much money these kids were
Bro.
throwing around the clubs. I was like, what the fuck? Where you guys getting all this money?
Oh, bro,
They're all
buying
mortgaged,
Breitlings, doing bands outside, the whole
Yeah.
nine. Of course,
That's
I had every
crazy.
true religion, believe it or not. You know? So I was like, fucking.
Did you sag 'em?
Yeah, bro. I was fucking gangster still, bro, all day long, you know? But it was one of those things where by the time I was 27, made my first $1 million. And then I literally made $1 million net take home. I sold 98 homes in 1 year. I was crushing it. And this was in 2009. Fast forward, I let pride and ego get the best of me.
Well, you have all that past.
Bro, I still didn't deal with myself. I still didn't look in myself in the mirror begging, yo, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
I was then again masking it. The drugs got better because I made more money. The parties got better because I made more money. Oh yeah, I was a weekend warrior. You know, I work my ass off up till Friday to Sunday. I disappear, and as long as I got a few hours sleep, come Monday morning, little cafecito, and I'm good. I'm out the door. You know,
Bro, realtors party, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, bro,
They-
we
these-
party.
He's like, I have photos.
They're like, let's go drink. Happy
I
hour.
do.
Happy hour. Happy
I
Dude,
really do.
Everything with them is always happy hour. Let's
Happy
go happy
hour,
hour.
yeah.
Happy hour everywhere.
And the excuse was like, oh, I'm gonna go make sales. I'm gonna go meet people. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this.
I gotta
Fuck
go. I
no.
gotta go
You're
meet
gonna
people.
You're gonna convince yourself.
Yeah,
That's what-
100%.
That's what people do.
Yeah.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
So by the time 2012 hit, at this point, I lost it all. I went bankrupt in 2012, and it was the most humbling, but yet rewarding thing I've ever gone through.
Put your ass in your place real
100%. Well, think
Yeah.
about it. You get a poor kid from Riverside, California,
quick.
with
Making
all
all this money.
this money, and I'm thinking I'm the god of real estate.
Mm.
And this ain't gonna end. This is never gonna end. And look at the market. It wasn't even the market's fault. I don't blame it 1% on the market, my agents, because at that point I had a big office. I blamed it all on myself. I overextended myself. I treated my agents like shit. I was all about me versus serving. I was being served. Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do for me?
That's
type of
when-
attitude.
That's when shit gets handed to you real quick.
Real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
And you know,
Put you
God
back in your place.
lined me up and said, all right, Miguel, we're gonna teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
Taught me a valuable lesson.
Damn.
And then right after that, I was accustomed to a certain lifestyle, right? I was accustomed to certain things. So I was like, fuck it, take it in the chin. And even then, I lost my ass through bankruptcy because not only did I give everything back, I also had a bunch of rental properties that I had to give back because I was so prideful that I didn't want to walk into any attorney's office. I went on Google, searched up an attorney. Of course, these were fake reviews. Called the attorney. He says, yes, all right, cool. Come to my office. This is what I'm going to charge. And yes, I told him I want 2 things protected. I want my classic cars protected, and I want my rental properties in my LLC protected. I was like, oh, yeah, they're in the LLC. You're fine, and we can do something about the classic. He said, depreciate them. All right, cool. Everything else we can give out. I go through the whole process. Oh, he tells me to come to his office to sign the paperwork and hand him a $15,000 check so he can start with the bankruptcy, right? I was like, no, can you meet me at Starbucks? He was like, what? I was like, no, can you bring the paperwork and meet me at Starbucks? I'm not going to be seen walking into a bankruptcy office. He was like, all right, whatever. So he wanted to get paid, so he met me at Starbucks. Fast forward a year into the bankruptcy, or 8 months into it, come to find out that I had a personal guarantee on one of the buildings that I bought for my real estate office. And since I had a personal guarantee and I was 100% owner of the LLC, they ended up taking 4 of my properties. Yeah. If I was smart and would have researched and done things the right way and not been so fucking prideful, I could have sold 2 of those properties and negotiated all my debt, pennies on the dollar, and still be able to have those assets. So out of 8 properties, they kept 4 of them. 4 of them that I paid off with my money that I reinvested. So, boom, lesson learned, right? Fast forward, I was like, all right, we got to make ends meet. Okay. At this point, we started the home garage gym, and I was going to still do real estate because I'll never stop doing real estate. To this day, I still slang. And now I flip more properties than I do buying and selling. But we ended up building a gym out of my 3-car garage. And out of there, we called it Self-Made Fitness. I was training people on the side because that's what I used to do when I was doing my little side hustles. And then I do real estate. Outgrew that in a year and decided to go to move the business, get my classic cars back in my garage, and we decided to go to a cardio kickboxing studio that would allow us to do what we do. And maybe a month, 2 months in, that cardio kickboxing studio decided to close the doors. Didn't tell nobody, shut the doors, couldn't get access. So now we have a book of business. We can't take them anywhere. So my first thoughts was like, oh, fuck it. All right, look, continue training, but I'll go do it at a big box gym. Went and interviewed with those guys. We ended up going through the whole process to really find out how fucked up that industry is when it comes to private personal training or personal training in general.
Hell yeah.
Right? These big job box gyms were keeping 70 to 80% of the revenue. I was like, you're telling me you're going to pay me minimum wage plus $6 an hour? And then I was like, I'm used to making $75 an hour out of my garage. Yeah. They're like, oh, but we're providing you this. We're going to give you leads. You do this. And I was like, oh, no, we're good. After 4 of those type of interviews, I was like, no, this is fucked up. I was like, oh, let me see these other little studios that maybe can allow us to do this. Well, I go to these studios, and again, same thing. They don't want you to carry your own name. They want you to brand them. They want you to pay a punch card or a fee to use the gym per client, plus your private personal training, plus your fee to the gym, the training facility. So I started brainstorming all this stuff together. And I was like, there's a big flaw in the industry. Something's really fucked up, and dude, it hit me. How many trainers just like me need a place to go but don't have one? So instead of Self-Made Fitness, I was like,
the light bulb lit up.
Self-Made Training Facility.
There it is.
Went to our very first commercial location. 3,900 square feet was our very first commercial location.
I remember that location.
You remember it?
Yeah, in Marietta.
In Marietta.
Yeah.
And so at this point, I've saved up about $75,000. And I remember when I bought my 3-car garage gym, I only invested about maybe $5,000, $7,000 total. So I was like, oh, 3,900 square feet. Oh yeah, 75,000. That got it covered. I'm good. Well, when we go apply for the lease, I totally blanked out because I was so used to getting everything approved because I always had good credit. And now I have phenomenal credit, by the way, 800 plus. Okay, but it took a lot of years to work on that. But I go and apply for the lease, and they deny me. And I was like, why? I was like, well, you just bankruptcy. And I was like, fuck. So instead of taking no for an answer, again, quitting in the process, I believed in it so much that, let me get a hold of the owner. So I figured out how to get the owner's number, called him and said, hey, look, you just denied our application. Do you have a minute to talk? And he didn't want to hear it. And I was like, look, just hear me out. I have this very unique concept. I know this is going to change the game in the fitness space. No one really is doing it to the capability that I plan on doing it. What can we do to secure this building? Because I really need this opportunity. And he was like, let me get back to you tomorrow. Comes back, and he tells me, okay, look, first and last months plus double security deposit. And I was like, I $75,000. I was like, that's 20-something thousand. All right, cool, we got it. I got $50,000 to still fitness the gym, right? 55 or so. Gave him the deposit, got the building, cool. Secured it, super stoked. Got into building. This is my first time ever building a commercial gym. Didn't know the cost of flooring because I did epoxies in my garage. Didn't know the cost of mirrors, paint. I mean, the whole thing. And if you know me, I'm like OCD as fuck. Like everything has to flow.
Yeah.
I don't just do things half-ass. Even if you go to my Facebook page and you look at my garage gym, the before and afters, you'd be like, holy shit, it looks like a commercial gym. And it's actually a garage. So same thing with my first location. I had this look, the red, the blacks, the whole deal. Like I literally drew everything out on my own. I get down to the mirrors and the paint and the floors, and I ran out of money. I was like, fuck.
It's crazy.
I was like, shit, what am I going to do now? So, again, don't love nothing that doesn't love you back, right? So I looked at my 1970 Suburban, original 3-door, custom, laid out to the ground, beautiful
Had
fucking
to get
car.
rid of it.
Sold it. It went to actually Matsuyahu, that DJ guy. Yeah, he bought it. And so that was 30 racks right there. And then I was like, I'm still short. I was like, all right. So I sold my 2012 Road King, all custom miles on Hot Bikes magazine, all vehicled out like gangsters fuck. And sold that. That was another 25 grand. Finished the gym. And look, if I didn't sacrifice that and give that, we wouldn't be where I'm at today. And even then, I learned so much from my bankruptcy of how to not ever let this fail. Because I took this concept and I decided, look, we were busting at the seams at the first location. I returned to my investment back in 8 months.
Damn.
Busting at the seams, trainer after trainer. We were doing something so unique and we were serving people. Instead of charging a membership and going after punch cards and all this other bullshit, I was like, how can I help these trainers be true entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
And make 6 figures. That was always my thing because I looked back and I looked at all the corporate gym trainers. None of them were breaking 6 figures.
They always complain.
They're back to me where I was making back in the day, 25, 30 grand a year, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week.
Yeah, busting their ass.
And these are people, look, remember, my coach changed my life. He improved my life and saved my life. And even to this day, my coaches do the same thing. So why should you ever devalue that craft?
Yeah.
And that's what these big box gyms were doing. So I was like, how do I add value to this? So instead of me nickel and diming everybody, I knew what my demographic, because I use my real estate background, what demographic area we're in, what we can fairly charge to be able to use our facilities on a 7-day basis. But not only that, because anybody can put a gym together.
Yeah.
But how can I create tools and systems and software to be able to help these guys generate multiple streams of revenue under one umbrella? And we did that. And we perfected it. And we're still to this day perfecting it. You know, fast forward now, we got 26 operating locations. We have 40 pre-sold, another 10 pre-sold. We're in 9 different states, and that's just one of my portfolios. The other aspect, I also own the equipment company that provides all the equipment into my facilities. I also own,
when it comes to rentals, like I told you guys, I was like, we need to have our own body shop. We need to have our own, like, I mean,
eliminate the middleman as much as you possibly can, because
100%.
at this point you have full control to be able to dictate what you need the outcome to be.
Yeah.
I know I won't fail. I know if I need to work 15 hours in one day, I will.
Office as a gym?
Right? Set it up. Train.
Bro,
you got enough square footage right here, bro.
Can we have like a
Self-made,
self-made in this room?
The hybrid.
I already have the floors in there.
Oh, bro.
I just need the equipment.
So we can set you up, bro. We'll take a CAD and we'll lay it all out. But one of those things, I own the equipment company. I also own the apparel company, which is a promotion of the training facility.
I'll be waiting for my hoodie.
I'll hook you up, dude. This is a new one, the SLFMD family.
that one goes
This
hard.
has the family tee.
I just hit you about
I
that
think
yesterday.
I think the whole team needs one.
I get you guys all covered, bro. SLFMD family. And what I did is I abbreviated self-made. And I always include family in there because it's like-minded individuals to be able to strive forward and continually grow each other. Like, we will learn so much from each other versus individually trying to do it on your own.
100%.
You know? And
100%.
like, even with this whole NFT thing that you guys are gaming me on right now, I'm like so intrigued that if I get my grasp on it, you never know what the outcome's going to be. And that came from a relationship. And then the other thing, too, it's like, learning from our mistakes, like literally, like one thing that I can tell, and I told my fiance Priscilla this, and she sees it, because every time we've had to correct something or I had to correct something, I don't repeat my mistakes twice. I really don't. Yeah. I remember what that feeling feels like, and if I didn't like it, I never want to feel that again.
Oh man, that's like the biggest thing.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
so it's almost like, look at what happens to the individual that keeps doing the same shit over and over and over and over,
get the same results,
and getting the same results, right? That is a form of insanity. That motherfucker's insane, because guess what? That's what you're thinking. You're doing the same thing over, expecting a different result. Hey! You
Sure.
know, it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things where are you insane?
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing, dude? And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, like same thing with our mindset and the ability to think for ourselves is having the ability to know how strong we really are as human beings.
Absolutely.
We're resilient people. You
Yeah.
know, we were made this way. We were made to hunt. We were made to love. We were made to do all kinds of stuff.
That's why
baby.
we're very different than any other animal.
Oh,
because
100%.
we can control what we do.
Yeah.
It's
I agree.
crazy. Yeah.
So that's what I do, and that's just a portion. I own 8 companies total. Another real estate firm. I still own self-made real estate.
Bro, we're going to need like 10 of these episodes
Yeah.
just for because we can talk all
day long, bro.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much with all of us that we can just sit here and chat all day. And sometimes when you're not doing shit, you're out here.
Yeah.
Just come by. We'll
Oh,
throw
for
in
sure,
another
bro.
one, bro. For
Oh,
real.
sure.
And that's the thing. That's the PG version. That's a fast forward version. But yeah,
But
just,
that's
you know,
amazing.
I'm glad that one. Thank you guys for allowing me to share
No,
that
No,
portion
we
of it.
still got time, don't
Yeah,
worry.
we still
Yeah,
got
I don't
time.
want to. I don't want to.
Nah, you're good. Trust me.
No,
I'm
you're
enjoying this
good.
shit.
Because I can
I-
fucking talk,
No,
bro.
I-
If you know me,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
trust
yeah,
me.
Miguel, shut up.
This guy can
Yeah,
talk
oh,
for
yeah,
days.
he can.
Fucking talk. Hey, right now you know it's funny because
He's been
I've
sitting there quiet
because I've been more. I've learned to just listen.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
and
good.
just listen.
That's what I
and-
usually do too. I usually don't talk as much. I'm the one that's kind of sitting in the back. I just like to observe and listen. But I just so blown away by your story. I mean, he just told me that you were homeless at some point. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm like,
literally
is that
homeless.
for real? I was like, that's crazy. I mean, shit like that, like, gets me even more pumped
Yo,
up. I'm
And
like,
put it
Just
this
real-
way,
just real
homeless
quick-
at 16.
At 16.
Dog. Like
No,
16,
it's crazy.
17.
I laughed right out because I sent him your Instagram, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
right off the bat, it shows you like shirtless, all
Blasted.
tatted, and I'm like, yo, we're gonna have him tomorrow. He just came out of prison, and then our partner was like, what? And I'm like, no, I'm just kidding.
Just
My
fucking
boy
dying.
Miguel.
Yeah.
Nah, but your story is you're a testimony,
Yeah.
and I think that's what's
It's-
it's what's beautiful is like when I kind of went through this transformation, I got really close to God recently. There was my pastor talked about like how we don't realize how we're connected to like our past traumas, our generational curses, and things like that. And he did this like visual where he had like chains on him, and he said, "I don't want you to completely take the chains off. I want you to rip them because I want those chains to be a testimony that even through all that, God still loves me. God still has a purpose for me." And that like hit me because, you know, sometimes we want to do great in this world and we let our past kind of fuck up our thoughts. You know what I mean? And not be able to stay alone and still and be with our mind and you know, we do things to kind of run away from
you
that.
You got to be in the moment, man. You got to be
Yeah.
here and now. Because if you keep going to the past, it's like you'll never get out of the past.
And I realized that the reason why I was never able to truly move forward was because I was always thinking about there.
Yeah.
And I never allowed myself to be here.
Yep.
And, you know, my pastor talks about how it's like when you look at there, what's in front of here, it's a cross. He will get you there. And for me, I realized I was like, yo, there's so many things that I got to figure out here about myself. I need to be accountable in every aspect of my life, not just because I used to always be like, well, I'm always hustling. I'm always working. I'm always doing. But it's like, but all the other aspects, you know, how you are in your relationship, how you are with your family, how you are with yourself, and also how you are in business, right? It's like every aspect. And if you move with integrity will get you there.
Yep.
And that was like a switch for me. And it was what you just talked about, right? It's like this feeling, like I felt something that was like, I never want to feel this ever again in my life. And it completely switched my perspective. So everything you talk about, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
And it's one of those things again, like
I wish I could share my past with Miguel because he doesn't know me either. But
Yeah, no, please.
there's a lot. But I mean, we don't have that much time. I'd rather kind of get into.
But
the
we need to do
NFTs thing.
episode 2.
Yeah, we need to
because
do-
at the
we'll-
end of the day,
we'll
like
for
the
sure.
more like I consider this being very therapeutic. Like
Yeah.
I've shared
Oh,
this in the
100%.
past
It
where
is.
every time I talk about my past, I look to see how far I've come, right? Because sometimes we need to see that. And look, I look at my past as molding blocks, you know, like the statement, be made or be molded,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
one of our other trademarks. It's molding blocks to who I am today.
Yeah.
And most of us out there are going through these things that we have no control on. But what we can control is our character. We can control our reaction. We can control so much more that the outcome will be in a much lighter situation versus in the dark. Like they say, you know, scripture says, you know, you're walking through the darkness. That means you're going to eventually pass it. You just need to understand this is temporary. Pain is temporary. Hurt is temporary. As long as you're vertical and you can breathe and you're coherent.
Every day I used to wake up thanking God. And I'm not kidding, because when I had my accident, I should have been dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally fell off an off-ramp doing 100 miles an hour, landed 240 feet down in pieces. My leg was in my own lap, squirting blood everywhere. And my boy said my eyes rolled back in my head. And then I woke up a month later in the hospital not having a clue what happened. Wow. And my brother was just like, don't look at your leg, because my leg was still not even covered. It was like just meat.
Wow.
Yeah,
dude.
so it was crazy. And like Alex been through the same accident, same leg, same everything.
Wow.
But it's like I keep telling him every day, I'm like, dude, honestly, the only thing that kept me going, because I was to a point where I was like, fuck this, I'm done. The pain was so much, and no one understands it, and it was just crazy. But yeah, I don't want to talk a lot into it. We'll save it for episode two. But yeah, it was crazy, man. I just looked forward every day. I was like, tomorrow will be a better day, maybe less pain. Tomorrow will be a better day. And my family and my brother, my mom, my dad, like the friends that came and supported me. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I probably would have cut myself off, bro.
The
honestly.
self-made family, your people, your circle, your inner circle, your outer circle,
crazy.
all that good stuff.
Crazy. But yeah, let's get into some of the good stuff, some NFT stuff.
Yeah, so
I mean,
have you heard anything about like the NFT realm?
I've heard it from you. A few things that definitely caught my attention, and the things that I definitely want to look at. And this is probably good for the audience to understand. I'm an old school cat. I'm 40 years old, right? So to me, what I know best is real estate and businesses, right?
Yeah.
That's what I invest my money in. That's how I invest my time and efforts. But at the same token, how many times have we sat back and missed the boat on a great opportunity?
That's exactly right.
Right? So I'm in a position now where, like, given where I'm from, where I come from, and how I am where I am today was by opening my mind and keeping it like a parachute, right?
Yeah.
Take it all in and see what exactly works best for me. Sometimes
And right now is the time.
it's a time, I know.
Oh,
and
man,
and
This is so fresh and so many people. I mean, like 4 months ago, I was like, what the fuck is an NFT? And I still don't 100% get it. But I'm like,
and I just asked them, what's the abbreviation? What does it mean, bro?
Yeah. Non-fungible tokens. But man, it's crazy. And this is literally going to be like how the internet was. And I think in 5 to 10 years, we're all going to be so deep in this that we're going to be like, fuck. That's why we're jumping in. We're going to get in early. And what we're doing with the whole exotic cars and that aspect of it, and making like the dream that I never thought in a million years growing up I'd be around exotic cars.
Right.
That was my dream.
Doesn't
I was
that
like,
trip you
my
out?
Lamborghinis on the walls, and I was like, fuck, one day maybe I'll sit in one. Bro, and it just out of nowhere, it just happened. Shit happened, and fell into this business, and it's been almost 10 years now, and we've been just pushing forward. And once I saw, like you said, everywhere you look now, everyone's trying to rent cars. I was like, well, it's time for us to step it to the next stage and kind of go beyond this little rental company. Let's go worldwide.
Yeah.
And when the NFT shit came up, I was like, this has got to be the way to do it.
Absolutely.
And now is the time. So, yeah, we talked about it. And
you know me in my fucking mind, how my
oh, man, this guy was so all over the place. I was like, please, Jay, focus on one thing, because you're like, let's do this, let's do that. I was like, yeah, everything sounds great, but we have to have some kind of plan to go forward, because if we're like just scattered everywhere, we're never going to get to where we want to go.
It won't come into fruition.
No, absolutely. No, in the beginning, because the NFT world,
I'm not gonna lie,
it moves.
Jay on it, killing it. Fucking his focus has been great.
I've seen, so just to be brutally honest,
my brother.
Me and Jade known each other since 2017. But what I've seen in this young man in the last 24 months, the last 2 years, mind blowing.
From because his music, Daddy came around.
From music to his commitment to determine to finish the projects that he started, versus the person that I met in the very beginning. Was a man that was just like your typical entrepreneur, right? Or what do they say? It's like tradesman of all, master of none, right? But now, look what he's done. And so much that obviously I drove 2 fucking hours to come see you guys.
Bro, this
then
team that we built, we're
the
blessed.
NFT aspect,
Yeah.
if I'm going to learn, I'm going to take it from this guy who's been diving in, like I said, for the last, who knows how long now, and giving me the opportunity to understand it.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it is one of those things where I'm a dinosaur. Like I'm
Bro,
older.
I'm older than you.
But you know what I mean?
That's why it's hard.
But it's hard,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Because
very
I'm so
hard.
stuck in my
Yeah.
old ways.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
stuck in just prime example. I got a house right now that's in escrow. That's my own primary home. I bought it for $330,000 in 2010. I have it in escrow with an all cash buyer that's closing in 2 to 3 days for $950,000.
Ooh, we gonna party.
Hey, double down, Vegas.
Let's
No,
go.
just joking. Don't do that. You know, but it's
Vegas, we're coming whether you like it or not.
but I've done that so many times. I got a flip in Long Beach right now. I bought it for $1 million
crazy.
cash with me and my partner Drew. We got about $200,000 invested into it. I'm gonna flip it for 1.6.
Well, this is a great time.
So again, you know, I know that hustle.
Yeah.
And you can't. I don't care what the fuck you say. There's always a buyer. There's always a seller in
Yeah,
every market.
100%.
So you can never deviate away from the market. Like real estate is what I love. I truly, truly love it. So that's what I know.
Yeah.
But now, okay, look at most people that have been. Look, I've made millions. Okay, what's the next step after that? I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm a happy man where I'm at, but I'm not content.
For sure.
And
It's
what
like
is
you
the
never
next
be
level?
content.
Nah, bro.
You
I
just
love the
you gotta keep
process.
growing,
Yeah,
man.
the
I'm a student for life.
100%. The
That's-
person who
that's-
enjoys the walk
yeah.
will go further than the person who enjoys the journey.
Oh,
I'm sorry, the
one-
destination.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Come
Split
on,
it.
I'm
bro.
getting it,
Split
bro.
it,
He's
bro.
getting me nervous, bro.
I think Jay's a little nervous.
He's a little nervous, like
It's
fucking
okay.
guy.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
But yeah, tell him what we got cooking, bro.
Yeah. So basically, well, you know,
tell
like,
him a little about the team too. Like,
yeah. So we
we're
our
blessed.
team is stacked, and you know, the biggest thing for us, right? It was we're stepping into a new realm, and we analyze kind of what is going on in this realm that is quote unquote bad,
Yeah.
right? And what's going on in this NFT community right now is a lot of people are basically getting the money before they prove that they are, you know, capable of doing
what they say.
what they say they could do,
Yeah.
right? So when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna step into the NFT community or NFT world, we have to make sure we do it right,
Yep.
right? And in order to do it right, we have to make sure we have the right team.
Yep.
So now, when we first started, it was, man, the idea was like we were gonna do a race and to where it's at now.
It's
evolved so much,
insane
but it's
in
because
like a
of
few months.
in a few months, but it's because we've been able to bring minds like, you know, Ali has 10 years of rental, you know, exotic experience. We have, you know, our other partner who's 20 years in Microsoft, has his own coding company, understands the tech like no other. And then my side, the branding, the marketing, his brother who wears multiple hats, Yale, USC.
My brother
you know,
came in deep, bro.
Did
He
he?
started.
Yeah.
He started like because we were like we don't have money to fucking hire a team to do
Yeah,
this
yeah,
shit
yeah, yeah.
because that shit costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
dude. The tech side
And
alone,
time. Yeah.
it's crazy, and we didn't have time. We're like we gotta move, and we gotta move now.
Yep.
Yeah.
My brother, I'm like, hey, can we give you a couple thousand, you know, a month to come in? Oh yeah, Tech
Yeah.
Man is here. In
Tech
the
Man
house.
is here in the
Tech Man is in the
house.
house. Elmer, what's up, baby?
Hey, what's up, Albert?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I was like thankful because I never have worked with my brother. You saw my brother; we're
Yeah, yeah.
very different.
Yeah.
Like
and
anyone
day.
sees us, they're like, "There's no way you two are related." He's like the preppy, like all nice. I'm like fucking thugged out, street hustler.
Yes,
You know,
hustler.
I've just been hustling
Yeah.
since day one. But yeah, it's just crazy. And thank God he came in, and then he's like so well prepped because he had his own project that he had to pitch, like do all the stuff. So he knew a lot of the steps, and me and this guy aren't like the analytic type.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we're just like business. Let's do this, and we're like, okay, how the fuck are we gonna get contracts?
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and then my brother's like, okay, I'll do this. I'm like, damn,
Perfect.
thank God, bro, because saved our asses so
Yeah.
much money up front.
Money and time.
Money and time. And
Money and
bro,
time.
team is like, that's one thing that this project really allowed me to see is how important it is team and delegating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've always had an issue with wanting my OCD-ness.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I handle social media. No, I handle this. No, I handle it.
Because
And
you have a certain way of perfecting it or make you the look that you want.
look that I want.
But that would hinder you so much in business and relationships.
I didn't
friendships,
realize how
everything.
much it was hindering me, because
It
for
was.
me it was like,
It was wasting so much of his time, and we're like, bro, we can see it in you that you're trying to do so much, and it's like you can't do what you need to do, like with us.
No.
And that's why we had to go get a couple other people involved so they can take some of his shit off his plate, so he can focus on
what he's good
what
at.
we need to.
and
actually
that's, bro,
do.
that's it's crazy, because I'm like, that's because I used to give
You're
myself
lucky
talks
you're
and,
learning this
and-
stuff at 27,
and
bro.
be like-
I wish
Totally.
I was there.
because I was like, yo, why is it that I haven't been able to pierce through? Because I'm like, I know my shit. I'm like, I've been doing this for so long, and I'm like, why can't I just pierce through? And it
Doing
was
shit
that.
solo is
And the
And it
thing
was
is,
very
it's
hard.
like what we were talking about earlier, and you told me to save it for the podcast. Now I'm going to be able to say it because of what you just said. Again, one of my statements, and I teach a lot of my young guys, is because look at our youth, our generation, your generation now is so instant gratification. They just want it now, right?
That's exactly what it is.
And so
They
you
want to
guys
be millionaires now. I'm like, bro.
and some hit it, some don't, but 98% don't. 99%
and they
don't.
give up, and
they
they're
give
like
up.
depressed,
Exactly.
and they're like, fuck my life.
You have to be able to think of it like this. Like you have to be aggressively patient, aggressively pursuing the destination, but patient enough to know when to receive it.
That's very well said.
Because look, if I would have had my success now at 25, 27, I probably would have been dead.
Yeah.
OD'd for sure or something. Right?
Yeah.
Because
Same shit,
Yeah,
because we love to
seriously.
party.
Like I'm much better positioned mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually now to take on.
Oh man, 100%.
You know,
I am so happy that God didn't give me the things that I would ask Him for, because I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't even on His team.
Yeah.
Because I felt, for me, it was like I think the reason why I was always so wanted to chase and get was because I needed validation.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's like I feel so like the weight's off me, because I'm so happy here.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like what you said, it's like I'm aggressively patient.
Yeah.
Every day I'm fucking grinding, but I'm like, when God is able, so He could give me what I want right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if He's not giving it to me, it's because I'm not ready for it.
Totally.
So I'm cool. I'm gonna just keep prepping, and you know, I talk about also the importance of your circle, your environment. My girl is like one of the most hardworking individuals that I know. And I see her, and she's prepping every single day. So she's an actress. She preps and preps and preps and preps and preps.
Yeah, shout out to the girls, I must say. They all put in work. My girl works like 3-4 jobs, just grinding her ass every day.
And there's nothing like that. Like having a partner
and I'm so
like that.
blessed to like.
I've been in a very.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you
No,
off.
it's
I just
true,
want to say
because,
shout out to all the
dude,
girls
yeah,
because
no.
they put in the work too.
They do. Like I'm very fortunate enough to have my fiance, who's
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
Damn, congrats.
yeah.
Are we coming to the wedding?
Oh yeah, bro. It's coming out September 17th.
So
at the Bel Air Hotel.
Okay.
And
Don't forget.
yeah, don't forget, we're all invited. So no, I'm being honest. If you guys want to come, I'm really looking forward to this relationship. I think I feed off of energy, and I feed off of what's going on, and I can already tell something's in motion.
100%.
And I don't want to miss the boat or look back 2 years from now when you guys are there, and I'm over here looking
like,
at
I talked to these guys
fuck,
2
be like,
years
guy.
ago.
I told you Big Guy was gonna do it, bro.
you know. But no, yeah, having a strong woman like that, I mean, I feed off of her instead of looking at it in a sense of competition or inferior, because you know she's successful, she's a hard worker, and you're right. Like having those type of people in your circle will only motivate you if you're in that realm to be motivated and inspired.
Oh,
100%.
Because otherwise, when I was hanging out with my boys, it's like I just want to go out, party, drink, and like you're like,
Alleys,
fuck, what
bro.
did I do again?
Alleys.
Why am I doing this?
You need, like, as young individuals, and even you know anybody at any age, really, you need to have the discipline to track where you're spending your most time in, and is it valuable to you, and is it serving you?
Is it
You know, if it's not serving you, move on
the nail, man?
And the same thing is energy is everything. Like I don't want to work with people that I don't get along with. I don't want to work
too hard.
Yeah, I'm in a position now where I can choose.
Yeah.
I can choose who I want to
Doesn't
be
that feel
with.
good?
Oh, I love it, bro. I don't have to be
Yeah.
in this
I
position.
was so blessed that I got so fucked in my last partnership that I opened up my own shit on my own.
Yep.
That I didn't have to like depend on anybody, do anything with me,
No.
but I just do my own thing and I don't got to answer to nobody else. And some people hate that. They're like, well, fuck, you got this good life. I'm like, bro, I worked my ass off for it. It's not like I sat around and fucking waited for someone to hand me shit. I've never had anything.
No, you will never get anything handed. Nothing in this world is free, and at the same token, like, you will never be able to retain if it's given to you.
100%,
Like you
bro.
can't
Easy
appreciate
come,
it.
easy go.
I
Easy
literally,
go,
I literally
100%.
just spoke about this because in the NFT world, you know, if you put somebody who's never been in a championship game and you put them there and you expect them to win, they're not gonna win.
No,
You know, it's like everybody wants to play the position until
yeah,
you realize what it is to play that position. So absolutely, it's like
yeah. Like, I have a desk in my office, my corporate office, and I was like, I always tell people, like, you want to sit in this side of the chair, like.
yeah,
All for it. Like, you want to walk in these shoes. Do you want to see all the bad that comes with this position? And I was like, that's why there's only 1 to 2% of these type of people that are within these chairs. Now, that's not a bad thing because I need people like you. I tell them.
yeah.
I do. I need a team.
Oh, absolutely.
I need people to believe in this concept. I need you to drink the Kool-Aid as much as I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Absolutely.
So understand that this position is probably not made for you. So stop trying to strive for this, but be that second person. That's the number one second person.
and that's okay. And that's the
That's
thing.
okay.
That's
Can
okay.
we bring that NFT Kool-Aid for him?
Yeah,
no, we will. I'm gonna stir it up.
I'm gonna stir it up. Lots of sugar, bro, because I got a
Honestly,
sweet tooth. And see what's up.
We got to do like an episode 2.
No, we
because
have to.
We're like literally.
Let me before we end it, we're gonna do a little fun little question. So
Okay.
you're gonna answer right away.
Oh shit!
real quick.
In and out or Five Guys?
In and out.
Thank you. Workout or jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu.
Lamborghini or Ferrari?
Lambo.
Favorite watch brand?
That's
Rolex.
If you were to go anywhere in the world right now, where would it be?
Rome.
Damn, he's on it.
Yeah, that was quick.
Love it. TECC or TECC?
TECC.
There we
There
go,
it
baby.
is.
If you were to give
Hey.
yourself 20-year-old Miguel advice, what would you do? What would you say to him?
Listen more.
Mm.
Be observant. Be very, very, very observant and listen more.
There it is.
love
Because I didn't learn that until my late 30s. And that's what's created my success is to be able to observe and listen. And,
Listening is a good thing.
Yeah,
man.
dude, because you don't need to
Because
speak
a lot
all
of
the
people
time.
just speak,
Nah,
and
nah.
it's just all over the place. And I'm like, just like listen for once and see what people are trying to like show you and teach you, and
Yeah.
instead of just blah.
Oh, and keep an open mind.
Yeah,
This
100%.
this world is beautiful. And people make it so negative, but it's really a beautiful
It
world.
really
Yeah.
is.
So you keep that. Look at things 5 different ways if you have to.
Mm.
You want to tell Miguel the little surprise we have?
Yeah, so, for driving 2 hours, which we
We're not
appreciate.
gonna make it not
Yeah.
worth your time, my man.
So we're going to be giving you what we call an honorary NFT, which are very, very exclusive. It'll have your logo. It's going to be personalized
Right.
just for you. You're going to
Yes.
get access that our NFTs give for life.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Por vida.
Ah.
Once a TECC
man.
member, like
Your
once
family,
a
bro.
Your family,
Your
bro.
family.
And
So-
you know what? It was even more validating when I came here and I did that Instagram shot real quick, and Adam texted me about you. And I love Adam. Adam's my Long Beach franchise owner.
Mm.
Like
Adam.
like-minded,
Oh, I met Adam. Yeah, yeah.
like-minded people is hard to come by,
Yeah.
bro. So thank you guys. You didn't even have to do that. It just blows me away right now.
Oh, man.
We want to, man. I mean,
And
I'm blessed to just hear all your story because I would have never guessed. I saw your prison picture. And I was like,
if you
I was
don't know, like
shut-
I'm like,
Hey, he knows
I'm
it, bro.
blasted, bro.
He knows.
All
I'm
throughout.
like, how many guns should I get out? I have like 6 here.
No,
I was
man, we
like-
appreciate you, man, for reals. And I'm honestly, I'm excited to
There will be
Grow up.
round 2.
There
we
has
gotta
to
do
be.
a round
This
2.
is way
And
too good not
You're in
to.
Los Angeles now, so
Yeah.
we definitely got a link, and I definitely want to grow a relationship with you because I do respect you a lot.
Yeah,
I
likewise.
see, what you've been able to accomplish, where you come from, and I'm like, that's the kind of people that I want in my circle,
Yeah.
and
Dude, if I
Get it.
eat, we all eat. That's the
That's how it
same.
always is.
That's how we are, man.
It's a fruitful life to be able to bring people with you, than versus just trying to do it all yourself.
100%.
Cool.
100%.
Gives you purpose, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, it just gives you purpose.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if I'm over here by myself at the top and no one's with us, right?
Where's all my people?
Where's all my people?
Yeah, no, I
They're
feel
right
that.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
We all coming up together.
I
feel
love
that.
it.
But we
Thank you.
appreciate. We definitely got to do a part 2. So part 2 coming very, very soon. But make sure you guys follow. Where can people find you?
So my Instagram, Selfmade Family Inc. Selfmade Family Inc. is my main page where I do a lot of interaction. I do respond to all my DMs, by the way.
Boom.
It may take me a couple weeks to get back to you, but I do respond to them. I'm very adamant because those are the people that have supported me, so I want to support back.
Of course.
And then, of course, you can go through that Instagram and get all my contact information for all my businesses that I own.
There we go. There we go. So make sure you guys subscribe to our weekly YouTube channel, The Exotics Podcast, and thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Peace, homie.
Dale.
That was money.
Dale.
Hey.